Once the truth cracks open, it doesn't stop. It spills. And it doesn't just show you what happened, it shows you how long it was happening while you were being lied to. After that call with my sister, I didn't confront anyone else right away. I didn't go nuclear, I didn't blast them online, I didn't show up screaming at family dinners. I went quiet, not the sad quiet, the observant quiet, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. People who think they've gotten away with something get sloppy. And they did. I started with the timeline, not emotionally, logically. I opened my calendar, text threads, old photos, emails, receipts. Things I'd never thought to look at twice before. At first, it felt obsessive. Then it felt necessary. The night he canceled our anniversary dinner to help her move. The weekend he needed space and stayed with a friend. The sudden shift in his energy every time my sister was around, how he'd straighten up, laugh more, watch her instead of me. I remembered how she suddenly knew things about our relationship I never told her. She said, "You've been stressed lately," he once told me. She said, I never asked how she knew, I trusted, that was my mistake. The more I looked, the clearer it became. This didn't start after we broke up, this didn't even start near the breakup. This started while I was still fully invested, while I was planning a future. While I was defending him to friends who said he felt distant, while I was telling myself relationships go through phases. They weren't in a phase, they were in an overlap. I found a photo buried in my camera roll. A family barbecue from last summer, everyone is smiling. My sister is standing a little too close to him. His hand rested on the small of her back. At the time, I'd laughed it off. Now my stomach turned, that wasn't casual, that was familiar. I zoomed in, her nails matched the ones from the engagement photos. The same color, the same shape. That's when I realized something that made my chest tighten. This wasn't impulsive, this was deliberate. I decided to test something I didn't accuse. I asked questions, quiet ones, to people who didn't realize I knew yet. I texted a cousin. "Hey, random question, when did you first hear about them?" She responded within minutes. "Oh, I thought you already knew. It was before you guys officially broke up, right?" Right? I stared at my phone, another text. Different aunt, same question, same answer, another friend, same. Everyone assumed I knew because everyone had been told some version of the story. Not the truth, a sanitized one, a carefully edited timeline where feelings developed naturally after things ended respectfully. Except things hadn't ended, not when they started, and suddenly I wasn't just betrayed, I was edited out. I confronted my sister again. This time I wasn't emotional, I was precise. "How long?" I asked. She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. "Before the breakup," I said. "How long before?" She exhaled sharply. "A few months," she admitted. "A few months." That meant birthdays, holidays, family dinners. That meant she hugged me while lying to my face. That meant he kissed me goodbye and then texted her. That meant they looked at me together and said nothing. "You let me cry to you," I said quietly. "You let me blame myself." She snapped back. "You weren't perfect either." There it was, the justification, as if imperfections invite betrayal. "So that makes this okay?" I asked. She didn't answer. She never answered the real questions. She just kept reframing. "We didn't want to hurt you. We were waiting for the right time. We didn't know how to tell you." I laughed. Because that's the biggest lie people tell when they want to avoid accountability. There is no right time to admit you betrayed someone, there's just courage or the lack of it. Then she said something that changed everything. "We assumed you'd move on," she said. "We didn't think you'd still be this attached." Attached, 4 years of my life reduced to inconvenience. "That's not your call," I said. She rolled her eyes, and that moment, that's when I realized something. She wasn't afraid of losing me, she was afraid of being uncomfortable, of consequences, of the truth landing where it should. And my ex, he stayed silent. Of course he did. Men like that don't confront, they disappear. They let women fight each other while they hide behind complex emotions and timing. I texted him once, just once. "How long were you with her before we broke up?" He read it, didn't reply. That told me everything. That night I didn't sleep. Not because I was spiraling, but because I was thinking clearly for the first time in months. I realized something that hurt worse than the affair itself. They expected me to help them hide it. They expected me to stay quiet at family gatherings, to smile in photos, to play along with their new beginning so they could keep their image clean. And if I didn't, I'd be labeled bitter, dramatic, unstable. That's how this always works. The person who tells the truth becomes the problem. I could already see it forming, the whispers. She can't let it go. She's making it awkward. She needs to be a bigger person. The bigger person always pays the highest price. And I was done paying. A few days later, I saw the engagement announcement. Public, professional photos, comments flooding in. People are congratulating them. People celebrate them. People asking when the wedding was. My sister had comments turned on. She was confident that time had passed, confident that I'd stay silent, confident that family loyalty would override truth. She underestimated one thing, me. I realized then that this wasn't just about my pain. This was about narrative. And whoever controls the narrative controls the fallout. They already had a story, a clean one. I had the truth, and the truth doesn't need embellishment. It just needs space, so I didn't confront them publicly, I didn't explain myself, I didn't defend, I documented screenshots, dates, messages, timelines, not to post yet, to prepare. Because once something goes public, you don't get to edit it. And when it does, you better be ready. That night, I opened a blank note on my phone. I wrote one sentence, just one. I was with him for 4 years, my sister knew. They started before we ended. No emotion, no insults, no extra context, just facts. I stared at it for a long time, then I closed the app, because the truth is powerful, but timing is everything. And the moment I pressed post, there would be no going back, because the next thing that happened wasn't private, it wasn't quiet, it went viral. And once the internet got involved, there was no controlling what came next.